right now is we need to fight for democracy in the state of Tennessee, and we need people not only just to vote, but people to show up and speak out so that we can end the gun violence epidemic that's happening in our state. This is wrong, this is unjust, and this is not the way that it has to be. If you want to help to make this place a better place, you have to use your voice, you have to use your power, and yes, sometimes you've got to get expelled.
Fierce words, fierce background, like chanting going on there. If it sounds like it's chaos, that's because it is in Tennessee. After days of threats, the Republicans have successfully expelled 2 members of the legislature. You saw when speaking there, attempted to get a trifecta and knock 3 Democratic representatives off. They were just barely not successful in doing that in the case of, I believe it's Representative Gloria Jones, or no, I apologize. Yeah. Gloria Jones?
Yeah.
Is it? Yes, Gloria Jones. But what we have right now is, I think, unprecedented times. We have an emboldened Republican Party in Tennessee that is using the barest fig leaf of an excuse to knock off their political opponents, and not just any political opponents. In the case of the 2 representatives that they did knock off, they're both young black men. They're both incredibly young representatives, and they felt emboldened to do this.
By the way, that's Justin Jones. It's Gloria Johnson. Yeah, no, Justin Pearson was speaking in the video. Justin Jones is the guy. It's not Gloria Jones.
Gloria Johnson.
Gloria Johnson. Yeah.
I apologize.
That's okay. You're fine, John.
Thank you. And so, look, we knew that they were going to push for this. They've been talking about it for some time. My personal hope was that perhaps, this story would get out. And I personally think that the mainstream media picked it up too late. I feel like independent media, lots of activity on like TikTok and that sort of thing, talking about it. And I thought that perhaps the Republicans would like back away from the edge of the cliff that they pushed democracy over, but they didn't. And so now 2 representatives have lost their positions. That's not the end. They will likely be back and soon. But I think that we have to talk about what this means for Tennessee, what this means for America. Aby, I want to go to you first. Did you think that this was going to happen, and what are you thinking right now?
I absolutely saw this happening, right? Saw this coming. I'm a TikToker. I've been following it for a couple of days since everything happened, I believe on March 30th. And so what I think is that we're not in unprecedented times as much as we have taken a reversal in time, right? Like the way that they treated these 2 young black men for using their First Amendment right was as if they had broken, some sort of black code, right? Or Jim Crow laws. And we have reversed back to that time. And I think the Republican Party in Tennessee let it be known very blatantly that is the era that they respect, right? They try to make it seem as if these young black boys, young black men, since they did not respond in the manner that was appropriate to the Republican Party, since they were emboldened, right, and standing up for their constituents, that they would break them and break them down. And so that's how I felt watching this go down. It was very embarrassing as an American citizen to see House representatives treat their colleague in that manner, regardless of the rules that were broken. And I think there were very great arguments that were brought up in the sense of we have seen some of those representatives who have been responsible for criminal activity and even worse, abhorrent acts, and have not been punished for what they've done. So it's very hurtful to see this, but I do hope that people who claim they are allies, right, and say that they don't want to see this type of discrimination happening in our country, really step up and say something with their chest and let this not just be a tweet or something that we put out on TikTok, but actually take action to make sure that this type of energy does not continue on.
It's true, and I think that, I don't know that this is a setback. I don't think this takes us back. I think what this does is it affirms the fact that the American South is not, in fact, post-racial. That these sentiments exist still to this day. It's not just fighting a Confederate flag. It's not a slowness to take down statues of Confederate leaders. It's something as bold as what the Republicans, once they had a supermajority in the Tennessee legislature, were able to do to these young men. And the code word decorum decorum, which they were throwing around. It's a breach of decorum. We know what decorum means. It means sticking to the way things have always been done, or we think that they should be done. And when you break decorum, that means you're setting yourself up for punishment. And that's what this sort of white majority, Republican majority, super majority in the Tennessee House did yesterday. It is, again, another one of these cases, I think, where Republicans in America are getting a small victory at the expense of any kind of progress for themselves. They're mobilizing young people. They're mobilizing African Americans. It's a very red state, the state of Tennessee. No different than the Dobbs decision, right? I mean, you saw what happened in Wisconsin the other day with the Supreme Court justice in the state Supreme Court there, a liberal winning because of abortion. You saw what the 2022 midterms were like last November. So they get these what seem like victories, but it is such a setback, and it's just turning the clock back in their minds and doing things that they think are appropriate. Like you said, John, these two young men will both win. Justin Pearson, who I happen to know, I covered him when he was not in the legislature. 2 years ago, he fought the building of a pipeline through Memphis that would have gone through black neighborhoods and into Mississippi. It was called the Byhalia Pipeline. He fought it. He started MCAP, which is Memphis Citizens Against the Pipeline, and they won. They beat back these two oil companies, Valero and All American, and they stopped that pipeline from going in. He got some coverage for it. He ran for an open seat in a special election. He won it. He'll be back. He'll win. They're already getting tons of money. Chris Murphy, the senator from Connecticut, put it out yesterday. They raised $200,000 like that for these races. So this stuff is going to help these people eventually. And one thing that Justin said to me yesterday, and I'm saying this because it's pretty poignant, the way he's talking about this. He said to me last night, he said, wow, there's something holy happening even amidst the sadness. So even these young men are seeing that there is light that's coming out of this.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you can, and that he is focusing on some of the medium and long term like positive, I guess, a positive. I want to do that. And perhaps I'll be able to at some point.
There is. I mean, that's the thing, that there is like this. This makes the other side just look foolish. These are the people with hoses and dogs in Kelly Ingram Park in Birmingham in 1963. Yeah. They look stupid now, right?
Well, that's what I'm saying. You're using 1963 tactics on 2023 people, right? And it's just not going to work like that, right? We are, unfortunately, we are not the same civil rights fighters as were in the 60s, where they wanted peace, right? We are more loud and we are more bold today, and I think that's what's necessary. But I think it needs to be shamed for the way that these representatives represented our country and represented their constituents when talking to other black men as if this is okay. And I think, I don't remember exactly which representative, which Justin it was, but I think it was Justin Pearson when he said, would you appreciate being spoken to like this, yes, right? As a black woman and as someone who has dealt with racism, right, in my profession and see it every day, especially in the legal profession, it is hurtful and it is harmful to see black men treated like that, because all they were simply trying to do was fight for the rights of children and fight to protect children who were being gunned down in schools because these legislators don't want to put a cap on gun laws.
Yeah. Yeah, and by the way, we're gonna turn to another aspect of the racial aspect of this, but like I'm not a psychic or anything, but I have to imagine that for a lot of these Republicans, like when they see them participating in this protest, and you have all these people, all these young people, there was the student walkout and everything, organizing around another senseless massacre of kids. You have them during that and after that, the representatives, I should say, speaking eloquently, passionately, like with fire about it, doing everything that a representative is supposed to actually do. There's an actual problem, people are rallying to fix it, they are representing them. And for the Republicans, they can't do anything like that. Like when they get involved in a popular protest, what is it about? Banning trans athletes, denying that their god emperor lost the election. That's it. That's what they are allowed to get fired up about, because they can't acknowledge actual problems. So when they see true representation, I think that they are disgusted by it, because they know what they are. They know why they're in those positions. They know what they're actually working towards and who they're actually working for.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.